deadline was Monday, so we barely made it. Okay, let me go in here, and we're on live on Facebook. So what I'm going to do is, your audio will be on. So here, okay. So this will give people time to come in. I'm going to put on this, and then as soon as it's over, we'll get back on it. Okay. Oh shit! Hang on. No, I got it right. Okay. All right. Here we go. All right.
Yunasai, Irihanina, Irikanina, Erikande, Yanas, Yalhamnine, there is Hunyana, Dalhamne, there is Shamdina, Alhamdi, there is Hunyana, there is Shamdine, Sunjan, Haljan, Isham, Etis, Hunyan, Daljan, Ese, Susham, Archana, Delichandine, Derikandile, there is Sandilitis, Sujamdan, Alhamdilitis, Sujam, Alsham, Etis, Sujan, Alsham, Es. Ere Zulcananam delitis arkan elicindan alkan remden Darkan delikandan dersan arkan etul danhan yetan Estunyanan delikanından alkan netisu kandan til Alkan netisu kandan tili samdiri kandiri kandili kandiri Zulcananam tili can eri Zulcananam tili diri kandili kandan Delikanından alkan netisu Ersulcananan Alçanın andelici tufyanan, aşan, yeşana, desoyun, antilan, yerkanılan, yaşan, deşanan, anteli, tuşanan, anteli, şanan, derşanın andeti, tufşan, alçan, eti, tuşan, nanti, yelikandeli, yeri suşanan, yelşanınan, yerşanınan, grande yanas, vasa yanas, gran yanas, yani, yelkanınan, yelsuyanan, yelşanlıkan, yelşanlınan, alçandi, Delsunana nandele jandele desu yante arjanete Desunana nandele jante arjanenan aljanene Desunana nandele jante Ersujana aljan eja Erpujana nandele jante aljan eja Erpuja Delesujana Delesujana aljanehe Delesujana eljanelehe yaljanenan Yerekandele jan esuşan ante yalje etu Yalhamdele tuşan ante dere sulcanan ar sulcana arhamdi dere sulcanan andele can ele te sulcana arjandele cinna arjana del tamnena arjandena arjande dere sulcanan arjandena yarjandere jandal cerman dele kena dere sanena dele sulcana dele kanena dere sulna arjandele te sulnandan
That, my friends, is the incredible brother Romeo Barron and some original, intuitive, spontaneous, creative, imaginative, courageous, new frequencies, adding frequencies to an ever expanding vibration. That's what we're all doing. That's my favorite.
Yeah,
that's like one of my top 10 songs in my whole life, man.
Yeah, it's definitely high frequency sound tones of the most connected to my rays of consciousness. So yeah.
And then I saw I don't know her name, man. I'm really bad with names. Kiwana. Yeah, I saw her doing some kind of like rap, like light language kind of rap, but it was really the hand motions, you know?
Yeah.
And I saw a couple of 2-3 of those that she did. And then I remembered I was watching her and I didn't have the sound on. I'm like, wait. So the 2 years that I spent on the streets, I used to spend about 5 or 6 nights a week dancing in the electronic and rap. And that's what I was doing. I was always using my hands, and people would always say, why are you using your hands? And I realized now I must have been like channeling some light language or something. I don't know. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely it's a little bit of that and a little bit of something else that I realized and today. that information came to me yesterday and today, actually,
Really?
about the hand movements. What's that all about? You know,
Yeah.
what's going on with that? Why you know, why is it? It looks great, and it's actually you can feel people can feel their vibrational frequency raising when they see these movements taking place.
Yeah.
So, like for the past few months, probably even last year, I've been wondering, like, okay, so what am I doing with this? Because like my higher self is guiding me to do this. I'm being guided to make these movements with my hands, but I don't really understand what I'm doing, what I'm supposed to be doing with these movements, right?
Yeah.
These motion signals, hand signals. Um, some workers are saying, they say that sometimes we're writing light language in the air within the energy field. We're writing it,
Yeah.
or we are expressing the languages of light in the air um, by creating geometrical shapes and patterns, waves, formations.
Yeah.
So that's what, yeah, that's so I knew that already, but I'm like, okay, so what do I, there's something else, like there's something else to it. And especially when you're listening to music, it enhances, because music, if you're listening to high vibrational music, it enhances the energy or amplifies the energy. And so what's happening is that you're hearing the sound tones from the music while you're moving. So you're merging your own sound tones within you, because see, the sound tones, we have sound tones in our consciousness.
Yeah.
And these sound tones merge with the music that we're moving with. So that's why we were able, you know, a lot of times if we're using music to do these movements in the air, these hand motion signals in the air, then we are merging with the sound tones of the music and amplifying the energy.
Yeah.
So that's what's happening with
Yeah.
that. Now, so what's actually taking place so what the information that came to me is that what is actually taking place when we're doing these energy movements, writing light language in the air, creating light codes, or transmitting the light codes, because they are light codes. And the light codes are really sound tones. So what we're doing is we are moving energy. We are transmitting our sound tones in the air. So we are creating sound waves in the air, especially, like I said, it amplifies even more when we're using music. So we're using our hands to create sound waves, geometrical patterns for the most part. And what this is doing is harmonizing the energetic field. It's harmonizing the energetic field.
Yeah.
Because we're transmitting a high frequency transmission. It's a high frequency transmission that we are transmitting through our hands motion signals with sound waves. Like I call it sound waves when we're doing this, because you're creating waves of harmonizing energy.
Yeah.
And when you look at it, you see that it's like, it really looks like it's harmonizing
Yeah.
the field.
Yeah.
And that's where I feel like Tai Chi originated from, the movement of Tai Chi, or even Qigong.
Yeah.
Moving energy, you know, it's all about moving energy, harmonizing energy. So we're doing that and harmonizing the energetic field. We're also within, around us, and also within us, you know, within our own energetic system. So that's what it's for. That's what it's for. And another thing is that the information that came to me today is that not only is it we're working with that type of energy, but we are also raising the frequency within our own brain. We are harmonizing the brain, the two hemispheres of the brain, because you know how they say, science says, okay, we're using one side of the hemisphere controls one side of the body, and the other side of the hemisphere controls the other side of the body, and one side of the hemisphere is connected to logic and reasoning, thinking, and the other side of the hemisphere is connected to intuition and creativity and everything, right? We've learned that through science, but also, so what's happening is that when we take that with energy movement, hand movements, and we're using both hands, now we're using both hemispheres of the brain.
Yeah.
We are synchronizing the hemispheres of the brain. So that promotes the capacity of our brain. That starts to promote the capacity of the brain. That starts to activate into, now we're promoting the use of 100% of our brain. We're not just using one side of the brain or the other.
Right.
We're
Right.
using both sides. We're using both sides of the brains. Two hemispheres. So now we're becoming a hemisync. So now, so this is what's happening with when you're actually moving the energy with your both hands and creating waves. You're instructing your brain to use both hemispheres.
Yeah.
So you're creating that balance. And so when that happens, you start to create new nerve cells. That's the information that's coming to me now. You start to activate new nerve cells that were not being used because we're so used to having one side of the hemisphere more dominant than the other. So now when we're moving energy like this, now we're promoting a balance within the two brains, which actually is one side of the brain is the feminine energy, magnetic energy. The other side of the brain is the electrical charge, male energy. So now we're creating that inner balance within our brain, and we start to feel like, okay, I feel like, I'm moving into more of that love frequency, inner balance, and harmonious vibration. And that's exactly what I feel when I start moving my hands like this.
Yeah.
It's not only writing light language in the air and creating geometric shapes and patterns in the air, but we're also transmitting the energy in the air, and harmonizing the energetic field, and also harmonizing the brain, the two hemispheres in the brain.
Yeah.
So that's what came to me today.
So you're reopening or creating new neural pathways.
Exactly. So when you activate, exactly, when you activate dormant nerve cells, those nerve cells create new neural pathways. And so then those new neural pathways then within the brain start to create a new circuitry system, biocircuitry system. And this circuitry system is connected to our rays of consciousness. So then we start to experience this. This is where the expansion of consciousness comes into play, because it's all connected to the brain and the nervous system, and the neural pathways that are being created and growing, because it takes time for the neural pathways to grow. It takes I'm seeing like three weeks, a month for neural pathways to completely fuse together and connect the new circuitry system. And when that happens, then we start to move into what capabilities that we really didn't know we had. Abilities like higher sensory perception that is naturally a part of our existence. We start to activate those abilities of higher sensory perception. So it's all about, that's what it's all about. That's what we are, that's the awareness that we are coming into.
Yeah, and I think what's cool about it, let me say, everybody, happy birthday to Valerie Peterman. She's always here, always supporting us. And
happy birthday.
But yeah, I go back to when I was dancing, and I remember it was that fusion. There was like, okay, I'm going to do this. And then the other part of me, that feminine side, didn't know what I was doing. And you found the space in between, right? And
Yeah.
so whenever I started making these Soul Speak music videos, that's what came in. What came in was like, okay, take a Tupac beat, write some good lyrics, now put the visuals together. And so what I understood is that we had the ability to remix any message from the past or any wisdom from the past, and you put it out there. So there's the verbal part or the tonality, as well as the shape of the phonetics, you know, whether it's light language or English language or whatever. And then you have the movement and the imagery. So I never could really do on the Soul Speak music videos much movement unless I had a clip of me dancing or something like that, or somebody else dancing. But now I get what you're saying about the hands, because the way I looked at the music videos was, okay, somebody could just turn off the sound and watch the visual, and there's a message, right? Or somebody could just look at the words, there's a message, you know, or somebody could just listen to the music and there's a message, right? There's a cadence to all of it. But what I saw happening on the dance floor at a much lesser degree, on the Soul Speak 5D, our Soul Speak music videos to a lesser degree, was like a symphony. Like, you know, like for instance, the dancing part, you start with your feet and you get the feet right, and that's the left and the right hemisphere, right? And then you bring in maybe the joint of the elbows or the wrist, or the, you know, and so, but I see what you're doing. If you look at the hands independently, like I did with Kawina, whatever her name is,
Kawana.
If you just look at the hands, or you did one by the pool too, I remember, and you were doing. If you just look at the hands only, I can see beyond our, you know, in other words, I can see
with your third eye.
Beyond our five senses, you can actually see the magnetism, like electrical field. You can feel, you can see, and it is both working with the energy out here, but it's also, you know what I mean, mirrored inside. It's like a synchronicity, a synchronization, I should say. Like synchronistic swimming. It's like, but more and more is added. And so, and I think with repetition, which goes back to Qigong or Tai Chi, like you were saying, that those neural pathways you're talking about would be further and further embedded, right?
Yeah, because it's that allows you to increase your vibrational rate or frequency within the body. That's what actually starts to happen. And when you do that, then you start to move into a more greater frequency expansion and consciousness. So so repetition is key, and practice, but it's just automatic. It's like the body is using this. You're being guided by your mind, body, spirit system to do this, because it's part of the healing process of coming back into inner balance. So that's what's happening. And is really, it really comes down to healing. It's all about healing and coming back into the inner balance. So
you know, talking to Vera Ingeborg, you know, we do a show every 2-3 weeks, and her and Augusti, you know, going back 2-3-4 months, whatever, I remember they started talking about the importance of movement and the importance of art. You know, in other words, we try to talk about this process, this modality, but it's like art, like not in the traditional sense, but everything is an artistic expression, right? It's flow. It's that combination of the two sides of the brain. And so we found, Morgan and I, that as we're mostly together, handling the different energies and the waves and this and that, sometimes we do our own thing, but one of the things we find is that we'll be in the apartment and we'll be doing whatever, and then at some point we know we got to have movement. You know, we've got to. So the importance of movement is coming into play too. You know, like I remember one day I had 2-3 months ago, I had a really rough day. I was shifting some crazy old stuff, you know, probably ancestral as well, and she just, you know, she took me to the park, and she took me to a waterfall, and then she took me to the beach. And later on, she told me, I was keeping you in movement. So, because when you're in movement, everything, you know, can flow. Like you said, it's the mind, body, spirit. So I think that's a big factor too.
Yeah, you're opening the channels of you're opening your channels to higher, to your conscious mind, the higher conscious mind, and because it everything just flows, like, you know, it just keeps flowing.
Yeah.
So it shouldn't be, and nothing should be stagnant, because stagnant energy is what creates the blockages, and
Yeah. Yeah.
blockages will manifest into, you know, it's a disharmony. It's a disharmony. So as you start cutting out the harmonics, and that's where disease comes from. It comes from stagnant energy that is not moving. It's not harmonizing.
Yeah.
So yeah, a lot of people know that, but
Well, you know, of course, a lot of people, and this is not taking shots at anybody. By the way, I just put the Zoom link for those of you who are getting knocked off. Like, I've already been knocked off like 6 times. I don't know what's up with that, but we're going to look for a solution very soon. Anyway, the Zoom link's in the comments. Well, you know, a lot of people, and rightfully so, you know, whatever their transmissions, downloads are, whatever their info is, their data, their code, whatever, talking about dates, talking about what's going on right now and this and that.
mm-hmm.
And I love the way you put your stuff out, because it's just like, well, you know, some of these things, if you put them in writing, would be, you know, a really, really long post, and you see some of that, and that's fine. That's great. But your stuff seems to be just like a flip, you know, like, you know what I mean? Like 10, 12, 14 words. So I wanted to ask you
Or
what
paragraphs.
well, no, yeah, they're just like, but it's like,
well, I like to get straight to the point. No,
yeah.
I don't like just, you know,
well,
dragging
yeah,
people along. Like
yeah.
you know, it's
Well,
a lot of pressure for
yeah,
people.
And I think that goes with what you're doing and what we're talking about, because what you're doing is, like, say, a reflection. As the individual goes, so goes a collective, right? So like, so there's fewer words as we've known it, right? Fewer words. And the reason I like those short ones, Morgan's good at it too, you know, where you just put a little bit there, but it's all the stuff in between the words and the letters. It's like there's code within, you know what I mean? So all that extra, you know, all that really comprehensive stuff, conversations even, and you know, it's going away. So like, there's something in the frequency of the intention that's coming through without words. So on that note, what's, in your opinion, what's the latest intel? What are you picking up on? What's happening right now?
Okay. Before I get into that, I just wanted to make another comment about the energy movements.
Yeah.
With the, you know, people, we can call it light codes, light language, energy movement. But was another thing I wanted to make a point is that not only is very important to what intention and thought we're holding within our minds when we're moving energy, because the intentions and the thought forms that we are transmitting, they're being transmitted within the energy movements.
Yeah.
So then what you're seeing is when you're seeing energy, the energy moving and the hand creating waves in geometric patterns, those those like sound waves, geometric patterns are encrypted with our intention and thoughts.
Yeah.
So that's another thing we have to pay attention to, is that, so that's what also creates the amplification of that transmission to being felt through people and within the energy field.
That totally makes sense. I used to be a door slammer, you know.
Yeah.
The hot Latin blood, and sometimes I'd slam the door. And if you just took the
Yeah.
sound, if you took the sound out of that, and even took the you know, the door out of it, just that motion of force full of emotion, you're exactly right. That send out energy, you know, energy waves that are less than you know, desirable.
Yeah. So what was I going to say?
We're talking about the latest intel.
Yeah.
And then the movement of the intentional movement and the thoughts.
Yeah, the setting the intention and thought forms. Because see, what I was going to say is that everything every single thing that is existing in this hologram or the planetary system is encrypted with thought forms.
Yeah.
So that means this entire existence is created with thoughts. So everything, every single movement that we see, every creation that we see is encrypted with the original thought intention. So that's just something to keep in mind, is that everything is thoughts, sounds,
Yeah.
tones, vibration, frequency.
Yeah.
Yeah, we get it.
Let's get away from that question I asked. That's a tradition.
Right. So
That's a traditional statement. I want to ask you this though. What you just said, the frequencies, the vibrations, the movement,
exactly.
is it, and coming from the individual in alignment with whatever you want to call it, the universe, the external, that's another integration, like the right brain, left brain is the inside, outside, within, without. So from this type of expression, say from the Romeo Baron, isn't this is the matrix buster right here. It's not about the talking, it's not about the marching or protesting, but this alignment that's coming from both the conscious, the unconscious, the physical and the non-physical within the vessel that is the universe. Is that not the matrix buster? I mean, that's just like not just illumination of light, but also the frequencies, the tonalities, the vibratory stuff. You know what I mean? What do you think?
The Matrix Buster is about realizing that we are creating the new hologram with our newly connected source conscious mind collectively. That we are now. That is what someone wrote an article recently and stated, that we are now approaching the unraveling of everything.
Yeah.
Everything is going to start coming out, and what we believed to be true in the past is, we're going to come into this realization that we're going to have to start changing our belief and of what we knew creation was or taught in the past ages ago.
Yeah.
So that is what we're coming into. We're coming into a more awareness of that. Yeah, so that's what's happening, is that we are just moving into a greater awareness that we are creating everything. And we knew that. We talk about it with the law of attraction. What we think about, you attract. But the thing is that the reason why so many people don't really understand it is because of lack of energy, lack of source energy, which is source energy can translate into love, balance, a harmonious vibration.
Yeah.
When we move into that state, we start moving into balance, then we start to connect to higher source energy. That source energy translate into, it eventually is going to translate into instant manifestation, creation.
Yeah.
Because that's what the original first creation was all about, instant manifestation.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. Here's another angle on trying to expand whatever this thing that's trying to come out here. And I'm connecting with you. Because it's this evolution that's occurring faster and faster and faster, right? Affecting us in so many ways. So I know on a personal level, and there's no need to speak about it, but I know that you've gone through some stuff like we all have. We all have these big, illusionary or not, these big obstacles in front of us that might be attached to the matrix, part of the matrix, unfair, unjust, and this and that. So I know from knowing you that you've had something you've been dealing with. I've had something. A lot of us have. How has the last 3, 4, 5 months, which actually corresponds to with your expanded expressions with the hands, with the light language rap, you can see your frequency expanding. You can see your frequency elevating. How has that helped you, or how have you diminished the impact of that stuff in the progression of the expansion that you're having? I mean, how have you alleviated that or lessened that? Has it been through just this conscious alignment and expanding these expressions, or have you had to consciously do some work as well?
Consciously, actively working with to make the energy, my energy, stronger. Because, and you do that. That's another thing I do in my personal ascension is I do very intensive breathing exercises, and they're not just regular. You sit down and do breath work. So no, there's movements. I'm doing movements. That's helping me to come back into my inner balance in these past few months, because I have been through a lot of drama. Because you see, in this matrix, we're dealing with forces that they're so used to everything being out of balance, and they feed off of that energy.
Yeah.
These forces, when they see that, okay, things are coming into balance, they don't know what to do with it. They don't understand it, because the only way, they're just simply trying to survive off of feeding off of energy, off of other life forms, or situations and thoughts and everything. You know, it's a lot of people know what I'm getting at. And
oh yeah.
So what's happening is that when a person as myself starts to really expand in consciousness, there's forces out there that will try to interfere and derail your personal ascension, because you are expanding. Let's not forget that we have been dealing with the spiritual battle. That's part of the spiritual battle that we're dealing with. We have forces out there that all they know is to survive off of a vampiric system that was as a result of the fall of consciousness.
Yeah.
That's all they know, is to feed off of like parasitic, vampirism. So when that happens, it's just they target. It's like, okay, let's target this light barrier right here, and let's take down all the things that was sustaining his realities at the the realities at the time, his daily reality. So that so there's forces out there that will interfere and create situations to where, okay, but at the same time, we have the higher self coming in. Your inner spirit is guiding you, like, hey, your vibration's changing, so you have to go with the flow, because you're no longer needed in this reality where you have these forces that don't want you there because of what you're doing. Now you're being moved into another reality, into the new reality. So that's what's been my coming into an understanding of realizing that, okay, so this is like, in a way, I've been going through a lot of initiations of, okay, having to the point where I have to really work my energy within my energy and just get stronger and stronger. So that's where all the the term galactic warrior comes into play, because a lot of us are here. We have people that are here as light workers. They're here to really anchor in the divine light and love to restore this balance that we need, that has been missing. And then we have the galactic warriors, galactic light warriors, that are just going into full head on with and to shatter all the distortions, clear away all the distortions. And so that's pretty much has been, I realized that that's my role here. And
I'm with you there. I'm with you on that one.
And and every and it has been perfect. We've all been through a lot, and especially a lot of the rainbow warriors out there. They've been through a lot. They have to go through a lot because it's like they're going through like a, what we see in the military boot camp.
Yeah.
Is exactly playing out. It's the picturing out in the matrix within the daily realities of people.
Yeah.
You being initiated is you're going through a training phase of darkness.
Yeah.
And you come out of that darkness, you see that you at the end of the day, you see the light at the end of the tunnel because you have that strong energy and you keep working with that. That's why I tell a lot of people just stay strong because you're gonna come out of this. And we eventually do. Like the ones that are still they are struggling and having a hard time with it. We all need to be there for each other. It says it's not. Let's not just play like the competition game and well, we have to understand that every single one of us had came into this existence and became fragmented. And every single one of us have to heal these distortions within our consciousness that are being trapped, trapped within our subconscious mind. And once we, that's when we start working, doing the inner work and expanding, and we just keep going higher within our consciousness and start connecting with our with our more with our inner self, higher heart, higher self, and source intelligence. Because the truth is that everybody is a spark of source. We know that. Yeah. So everybody's a spark of source. So that means that we are the source. And so the intel that it's not so much that, well, let me make a prediction and this is what's going to happen. The event's going to happen in 2020. Like nobody really knows exactly when the event or the flash of light is coming. Only the collective body consciousness knows when they are going to determine that to come into an existence. So the collective consciousness is the one that is going to determine that.
That's right.
I can say that to me, it feels like it's going to happen in this lifetime.
Oh yeah.
It's going to happen in this lifetime. It's going to happen. I can see that. But the more we start to connect with the collective consciousness, then we start to really. The collective consciousness is the one that's creating everything. Yeah. We're moving it. So the more we accelerate this unity consciousness with the collective, the more we accelerate into and anchor in the new Earth hologram, with and we completely shift into the next density. And there's a lot of things that are going to happen. A lot of things like the skies are going to look different. The sun's going to look different, and because once we move into it completely, into the new reality or the new hologram of freedom, then everyone will see with their three eyes.
Yeah, it's already
yes, and that's exactly what's happening already. I mean, it's accelerating into that knowing that people are starting, or more people are getting it.
Yeah, and it's interesting too, because you look at like Simone Boyce and Gina Colvin, how they can go out every night and film these starships, or somebody else like I can't remember their names right now. Robin Redford's one of them, where they have this propensity to be able to easily capture all this light around them, whether they're in the picture or they're not in the picture. The other thing I love about what you said, I've not heard this put the way you put it. Okay, because we're always thinking about, if I'm going to get to I just use these terms. If I'm going to get to 5D or the new Earth or the new hologram, I've got to do this, and I've got to like become detached from this, or offset the archons that are using me as sustenance when I get pissed off, or whatever the case is, right? But what you said was, So you go into these things such as what you're doing, the breathing, the hand movement, the light language, whatever it is that you're channeling, right? Whoever it is, and you're doing this thing, and what's happening is you're illuminating. And so that, let's say, third or fourth dimensional lesser God influence, or whatever you want to call it, doesn't have any power over you. In other words, what you were saying is they don't even want you here anymore. So you're not even welcomed here anymore because they no longer control you. So it kind of takes the fight out of it. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like we're walking into this new hologram, this new earth, as opposed to, keeping our eye on what's behind us, because we've realized that they can't affect us. All we got to do is shine in the line, and like you were saying, be there for each other, because there's a lot of power in that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of power, and not, I'm not talking about the old codependent type support. I'm talking about,
Yeah.
hey, let's make some rap music, or hey, you want to throw a function or an event, or this collaboration, co-creation. There's power in that.
Yeah. Yeah, we really need to use our discernment to, like, okay, we want to be there for people, but is this person so trapped in their consciousness that now they want to, their only way is all they know is to feed off your energy. It's like, that's what we have to use our discernment, but it's definitely it's very tricky, it's very tricky, but we're all like, it's definitely a learning process. We're all learning that, how to do this correctly, because it's, where before it was about giving your power away, and now it's like, okay, we're coming into this new awareness of that you are the source, and you have to recognize that you create a lot of these out of balance thoughts that we experience creates our realities. So at the same time, so a lot of people that are going through, that are walking around unconscious, and they don't know why they're having so much trouble. They have to recognize that a lot of it is coming from unbalanced thoughts, and so we have to like re-educate people into that awareness, that to being aware of what thoughts are coming through you, because is it out of balance thoughts that are just keep circulating through your system. Because, and that's what happens when your consciousness is trapped within the subconscious mind. You have these distorted thoughts that it keeps circulating through your whole entire system, and it's creating a lot of blockages. Thought forms are supposed to move into your body, up to your vertical channel, to the crown conscious mind, and filter through that, and then be released in that way. Thoughts are not supposed to keep circulating through your system, especially repeated distorted thoughts that are a disharmony to, and that feel very, I'm talking about thoughts that stimulate fear, anxiety,
well, the loops,
all of that,
and I think that, these are the loops that play. These are the things that
it's looping. It's just karmic. It's like a karmic loop. It's like we keep reincarnating, doing the same thing over and over, because for a while people have been able to fully connect all the way with their inner spirit and higher self.
Well, I like your approach too, because if you go back to the earliest stuff written about that fourth dimensional, non-physical stuff, the dark cons, whatever you want to call it, there's a difference between us and them. Okay. And the difference is they cannot manifest. They have no creativity. They can only distort. We can manifest. So the creativity and the artistic expression you know, consciously injected into everything we do, even a conversation or writing a paper or whatever the case is. We can't underestimate that. That's really like the way out. Like that creativity just smothers any distortion, and it's already started happening. I mean,
Yeah, because yes, everything is creation, because that's how source moves.
Yeah.
It's always creating through thoughts, and always, and then so that's why source is within us, because we're always creating, and so the whole idea is to create balance, and through love, and which creates the harmonious vibration that we've been missing. The people that are the fragmented, the entities, or the forces that are stuck in the negativity, and they're just operating from a fragmented state of mind. It's a fragmented inorganic state of mind, which was a disconnection. We were all disconnected from source, from the source mind. So they have just not been able to really heal. So like the whole idea is they need healing, and the best way to heal is the only way really is love, because love translates into source energy. And the reason why it's fragmented, everything has been fragmented, we've been living in a fragmented hologram, is because of a fragmented collective consciousness. Like I said, the collective consciousness is the one that's creating everything in this hologram. This hologram exists only because we are the sensory organ. The collective consciousness is the sensory organ of creation in this hologram. Then we create little holograms here and there within the planetary system, but it's all the collective consciousness doing it. So what's actually happening every single month, we move into higher and higher timelines of the collective consciousness becoming the Christ. And that's exactly what we're moving into. Every single year, next year, we're already into the 2020 energies, and we're already starting to feel the expansion of the emergence of the collective consciousness moving into the Christ identity, the Christ unity intelligence, which is just the Christ. It just means that we are connecting with our higher hearts and with source.
Right.
You're no longer needing to give your power away to entities that are pretending to be to have more knowledge, more, or to be superior over you. You are connecting to your own, to source, your rays of consciousness. And so now if we move into this, we raise our numbers collectively, then that's how we transform this reality field into the new hologram. So and we're feeling it, we're accelerating into that emergence. That's what's happening every single month, is that every single month there's a higher infusion of different types of source energy, light codes that are coming through. And these light codes are sound tones. Like I was just saying, everything is sound tones. Everything is sound, vibration, frequency. Everything that creates this hologram, the elements and everything, has to do with sound tones vibrating at a certain rate of speed. The reason why you have, here's another example, is like the reason why you have certain regions of the planet that seem to be in a higher consciousness than other regions of the planet, is because they are vibrating at a higher vibrational rate of speed.
Yeah.
So that collective consciousness within that region is now connecting more to source, to the source light, and becoming more creative and within a harmonious vibration. And that's where you see the conscious healthy lifestyles coming into play. You see spiritual wellness more within that region of the planet, like Hawaii or Amsterdam or Bali, places like that, because those regions are collectively holding a higher vibrational rate of frequency. Now, so what we got to do is now we just need to all come together and synchronize this vibrational rate of frequency collectively on the collective, you know, through the entire collective body of the planetary system.
Yeah.
Once we reach that level of energy, then that's when everything is going to completely shift in the way people have been waiting 30 years or even more for this to take place, and people are just like sick and tired of like, okay, when is it going to happen? I'm like, okay, this is how it's going to happen. We do the inner work, and then as we do the inner work, let me use myself as an example. As I do the inner work within myself, the reason why I'm doing this is I'm not doing it for me. I'm doing it because I know that we are all one.
Yeah.
I know that all of us is connected to, at the end of the day, we are all connected to the same family tree of consciousness. This is why I'm doing this. And a lot of people are doing it this way too. They're not doing it because they want to, they're looking for attention. Yeah. At one, if you look at it one way, I am trying to get people's attention because look, how else are you gonna create that to create that domino effect?
Yeah.
You have to get people's attention. It's like you have to like, but you don't. I'm not doing it in like, okay, I'm being stuck in my ego. No, I'm doing it because in my mind, in my heart, I know that we are all one. And if I work on myself really hard to clear all the distortions within my blueprint consciousness, and then the more I activate my sound tones, my light codes within my blueprint consciousness, then that is going to synchronize within the energetic, the reality field. And then all of a sudden people are going to start, it's frequency, it's light codes, it's that's what it's all about. It's raising the frequency. We raise the frequency within our own bodies, and then that synchronizes within the reality field. So the more of us keep doing that, and we really we really stick with that, then eventually it's going to all come together like this, merge, where the collective now becomes one. And now we don't have different time zones playing out in these different regions of the planet. Now we have one, there is no time. It becomes eternal 0 point existence.
Yeah.
Because everything is all one, unified. So then the big flash, that's when the big flash comes into play. The event, the big flash is just the sun coming in fully strong now and just blasting that energy to where, and then it stays visible eternally.
Yeah.
Where there's no longer darkness. The reason why we experience darkness is because we need to heal.
Yeah.
We're using the nighttime, and we're using sleep to heal.
Yeah.
Once we reach a certain level of vibration, we're fully healed. We become a fully light body healed expression. We no longer need to sleep because we're now with source. Do you think God source sleeps? No. Source is always creating beautiful things.
Yeah.
There's no time to sleep.
Right. So we've got to go to a really important appointment. It's a big day for us over here. But I wanted to say, we still got a few minutes. We can go a few minutes. We're kind of on a tight schedule. But what I was going to say is, if there's anything you want to do, if you want to show us the breathing, if you want to do some light language, or you want to just talk a little bit more, whatever you want to do. Oh, and I want to make sure and ask you too, if you're still doing sessions online, and if so, how can people get in touch with you? What's the best way?
Okay, was one thing I wanted to bring up is that not only is the energy movements of the hands, not only are we doing transmitting light codes through our through light language, through spoken light language, through written, and also like energy movement, but we're also doing it through through artwork. A lot of once we start connecting to our oversoul intelligence, monad, and source mind, we got people like Susan Amara doing some beautiful, coming out with some amazing stuff right now.
Yeah.
And it's all source light. You know, it's just her source intelligence being transmitted into you know, her light codes. It's all light code, source light codes being transmitted into artwork. A lot of people are doing that, but you know, so that's just another point I wanted to make.
No, it's very true.
Yeah, so it's all, you know, it's all for frequency, and you know, it just assists in frequency and expanding the consciousness to help us like remember that we are we are source, we are, you know, Christ energy. So
in the physical too, man, which is incredible.
yeah, you know, I just want to say, like, just do a little transmission, like a little transmission and just to help unify the field. And so I'm going to start with saying that we like to ask our beloved inner spirit, higher self, within our entire whole body and brain. We like to set the intention to calibrate our unity intelligence field with our source mind, with and through the benevolent heart of creation. We ask to be revealed in our divine presence and service mission. We ask to be revealed to our connection with the divine plan for the new earth, and that we are fully actualized and realized in our complete liberation and in our sovereign divinity. Beloved inner spirit, higher self, ignite the truth spirit vibration, clear all distortions within us, so that we may instill and protect the cosmic natural order of balance, harmonious vibration, love upon this sacred mother planet and upon all of the universes. May the truth set us free as we serve the law of love, unity. And I just want to say that for all the beautiful people out there, light workers, you know who you are. And even if you don't feel like you're a light worker, even if you're still, everyone is doing the work. Everyone is doing their inner work. I just want to say that I send you all my love and appreciation, because I know that whatever you are doing for yourself to raise your frequency, you are helping me, and you are helping all of us to get to so that we may find our way home back to the central point of all union. And I just want to say that a good affirmation to use for now on for the collective is to say that we are eternal love, divine source embodied. And we need to say this repeatedly. We are eternal love, divine source embodied. I am eternal love, divine source embodied. That's the ultimate affirmation for 2020 and beyond. We are eternal love, divine source embodied. I am eternal love, divine source embodied. Now, some people will say, okay, so what about affirmations? How do you affirm that? Well, we all know that we are source, we are the spark of source. That's how you affirm, that's your affirmation, is that you know that you are a spark of source. So now your brain knows that you are the spark of source. So therefore, you are eternal love, divine source embodied. And collectively, we are the collective oneness of the rainbow unified field. That's why I wear my rainbow colors, because because I believe in the rainbow unified field. That is heaven consciousness. And also, you know, like I wear, you know, white light is good too, because white carries all the colors, you see. So I just want to end with a little light language transmission, and then go from there. So the frequency that I want to transmit into sound tones is harmony, balance. Yeratandur ko yanadishandunum, erantur kayanandele de yandu, urshandele de hekyandum, inandhandur kayanandele de yandele se yandu, ireshandur hoyanandele ke yan, ireshandur ko yanandele te yandete, irandu, ilandhandur sur kayanandele te yande, ireshandur sur rikayanandele tena, İran tarika yararandan delete janan turka yaranin. İran turka yaran yaşanan. İris hujanan delete jan. İran handur sayanan delete jandu. Yarhandu. Urka yanan delete. İran handeleke jandu. Urkan yananan delete jan dele yerjana. İran turka enayan. İran urha yanan delete jan dese. İrşandur hur. Yursur hayanandi. İran tur hayanandele te yande. İran targa yanandele ke ya. E hoyanan hekya e su hoyan. Dilhandele ke yan du yanandi. Elan handele ke yan u yane. Yan helekyan urşan yanan. İran handur şayanandele te. İran hor hayanandirkyan. Yerşandur rışananan. Yersur urşan burka dişane. Diretsur rishan vultur kayanandele. Irantur jananandele rijan urjan nekia. Irantur urja rijan lehejan. Irantantur sur hayanandele tin. Irantur hayanante kiyan. Irantur sur hayanandele kiyan. Unun janandele tejan erishandu. Divine love. Enantu Irantur hayanande. Elantandele kiyante. Irandu tur hayandele kiyandu suryanan. Enanjanandele kiya. Elajande heke shutur yayananden. Irantandele kiyandu sur kayanandijan. Inandu tur ya hekyandele yan. Irantur yayanandele ke. Iresur yande tur yayanande. Yante sur kayahandenan. Delantan urkutur kayandele tikian. Elantandur kayahandele kiyan ursiananten. Thank you.
Thank you, man. Thank you. It's a good way to get out there and get some stuff done. That was powerful, man. I enjoyed it. I wish we had more time. We usually go an hour and a half or 2 hours, but we got some stuff we got to take care of. Today's a deadline.
Yeah.
But everything is it's nice, everything for everybody, I think is there's less resistance. There's there's more reciprocation from the universe. It's just becoming more and more obvious every day. We've been doing the right thing. We've all been doing the right thing.
Yeah, we've definitely been doing the right thing, because it's pretty much mission accomplished, and we're just finishing up with like the last energetics of this of imprinting the new reality. So we're just moving into higher timelines. So just keep that in mind. Every single month, mid-month, between the 12th to the 20th, we move into a higher timeline, and people will just keep that in mind, and be love in your every thought, word, action, and deed. And that is the energy of source that you need to further activate and expand your consciousness into your rays of your family universal rays of consciousness, which is what this is what the light language that I express is my family rays of consciousness. That's the vibration that is expressed through light language. It's my family universal rays of consciousness.
Beautiful. Beautiful, man. Best to you and yours.
So,
All blessings, man. You
blessings to you all, and joyous blessings to you all. I love you.
All right. Love you. Aloha.
Aloha.